Ying going off the board, of course. EU, very known for their meta-heavy playstyle. So Mira going off the board as well. Makes sense. There's a couple of sites on this map which Mira is very viable on, especially that basement and top floor. And we'll see the last ban come out now, and it will be a Echo. Again, makes a lot of sense. He's extremely powerful on the Vault. So I would say pretty standard bans for Bank, in all honesty.
Absolutely, and I honestly think that the ban phase is really one of the best things that happen to the competitive scene, is now we get to witness teams that have to kind of readjust to operators they were used to having underneath their utility. That and the reveal phase really kind of just having IGLs pick at one another, really kind of just trying to determine as to how these rounds are going to play out, how the defense is going to take place, what site the attacking team can guess as to where they're going based off the operators they're seeing. Really just all of the above as to how these teams truly show their potential with utility taken off the board and utility being switched around.
Now, the first big note here, which I'm taking away from this up phase right now, is the lineup for the attacking team has so much more utility than anything we saw in NA last week. You have the smokes from the Dokkaebi, you have the smokes and firebox from the Capital, you have the nades of the Buck, and then you have your double high breach. And there's not an actual Twitch in sight, and I love it.
Yes, you see roam clearing capabilities, you see vertical play capabilities, and you overall just see pushing utility that helps, because Maverick being considered a hard breacher is something that goes just so back and forth, especially with who is behind the torch, because of the fact that not only can he take out hatches, he can take out whole entire walls in reinforced walls, and he can just put these little holes that are 100% rotation cover, your flank cover, and very much so can be peaks at the wrong time for defenders, especially anchors trying to rotate in or out.
Now, what we're seeing strat-wise is, I would say, a standard setup for EU on Bank for Archives. So that we are going Archives first. They've made footholes in the elevator wall, which faces the main stairs. So they're going to place someone there, and that denies the front desk push through that left door in Archives. They've also extended themselves into the small office and hence into the open area, which allows them to rotate.
They have Buck pushing by himself up here, all the way up in Presidential. We knew it was standard for him to kind of go up here, but never mind, he regroups with Capital, but it just seems to be an excellent amount of droning going on from main lobby, watching over Curve here as he just goes to town. He's uncontested in the top floor as of right now. He has Capital droning and being his backup down elevator hall on top of Curve. And we have Dokkaebi already kind of underneath at Teller, so we're going to see a interaction between them and site already, because they have taken a mass amount of map control already. We still have a minute 36 left on the mark, and they have top floor, they have main lobby open, and now here we see Skipper rotating down to see if they can kind of cut off the roamer rotations and make sure that no flanks are kind of here to stop their push. But as of right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of contesting from HolyRayn. LetsFetz has just really kind of established control on the map, but weirdly enough, it seems to be a stronger hold is being placed on main stairs and downstairs with all the barricades. We have Valkyrie taking shots over at Dokkaebi, kind of just angle playing out, but the first kill will be a Claymore, and that's Jaeger off the board, as King Bemtix will get the first frag for LetsFetz.
So what I'm noticing here, they only actually have the one player of the Maestro on site, to my knowledge. I think Castle has the ability, and he had the ability to rotate thanks to that impact hole made in the small office wall. So they're actually going to be playing one main stairs, one downstairs in the vault area by elevator, and then the two on site. But that means they gave full control of the top floor. As to say that, Buck will get a kill from that top floor before Legion refrags that onto Skipper. That's Dokkaebi down now. But with 20 seconds left,
going down with Thermite.
Diffuser is going down, and 3v3 now. Thermite actually downed. Legion very low, as Valkyrie will pick up one onto the Thermite eventually. As 1v3 now, as Buck goes down, all up to the Capital. You'll see Capital rotate to the top floor and Diffuser getting started on here. And he'll get taken down from the top floor as Legion rotates up there. And that'll be HolyRayn picking up their first round.
An excellent retake from
It
Rain
was a
there.
very good retake.
We
They
just
acknowledged
witnessed a
there was a
whole lot
lot
go
of
down in that last 30 seconds.
They acknowledged there was a lot of holes top floor, so they rotated the Legion back up to try kill anyone who was sat on site. He only found the Capital up there last second though, as he got up there a bit late. But that's fine, he still managed to kill. You had the Maestro and the Valkyrie do an excellent retake from the front desk. And I think if that Dokkaebi hadn't a push downstairs and sort of just being a bit more passive, that could have gone the other way, meaning the Legion wouldn't be able to rotate.
Absolutely, because they had top floor uncontested within the first 30 seconds of the round. I mean, we saw the fact that their angle play for Rain was immense. We had Valkyrie on main stairs watching through elevator hall, and the bottom portions of site were blown out. So if they went for a plant in default, they were immediately contested by that angle there. And the fact that Legion was downstairs watching hatch was monumentous in the fact that even though there's only Castle and Maestro on site for the first phases, and they were in the complete opposite site, there was still a lot of contesting going on for that plant. I mean, it had to go down in, say, I think it was 20 seconds, and the fact that they were able to have all of their bodies still up and active by that time. I mean, the frags didn't go down until a minute 20, and the first one was a Claymore due to a rotate. So I mean, the fact that they had all the bodies, most of them were full HP, and they had so much angle play, it made that recovery possible when that plant went down.
For sure. And we're going to see a open area hold here. And now, looking at actually who picked what map, this is HolyRayn's map. So I would expect some sort of strats we maybe haven't seen it prep for this league, prep for maybe LetsFetz. There's maybe Counter-Strike them in some way, there's VODs available, I'm not too sure. There is.
So I'm expecting Archives to be played very heavily here, as we have two bodies already just kind of anchoring down here. They're still considered soft roaming, but again, with LetsFetz going top floor uncontested, that's already one body in Presidential, so it's going to be up to whether or not they drone out, specifically when they try to rotate down, and the angle's being caught here from Archives onto Skylight. But you can see they're droning out, Jackal's rotating down, it's going to be blowing hatch and elevator. They just have to kind of snuff out where exactly these roamers are playing.
I mean, this is the one problem with Bank. It's so big, you either have to decide you play the vertical game or you play the horizontal game. You can't play both, in my opinion, because you're too spread out and it leaves you very vulnerable to pinches, and you can't really establish the crossfire you need.
Oh, I absolutely agree. It's quite difficult for roam clearing procedures, especially with how much space there is to react. Speaking of reacting, we see Thermite within 10 feet of Maestro here, and that will be the first elimination of the game. A little bit of uncoordination with that rotate. He seemed to be hyper focused on the hatch and didn't kind of call out the fact that Thermite is now blowing elevator hall. Now they have a little bit of angles to play onto site here, while you see Maverick wrecking havoc on the hatches above. But a C4 will go out unsuccessfully. However, it will connect for half the HP of the operator. Barely missing some headshots there. They will not connect. Valkyrie does spot the Maverick, gives the call out, and rotates into staff room here. But the second kill will go down for the attacking team. And now we just see bodies going back and forth. Now we're up only to the Valkyrie and the Legion on site. It's a 2v4 in the way of LetsFetz, both of which are kind of pinned in the little corners. They have a good amount of crossfire going on. The recovery is made there with Dokkaebi off the board. That is Valkyrie's, I believe, first elimination of the round. Now, the two attackers that seem to be making the main push here is going to be from Beepers. They're kind of watching over the corner of sight while they still have an operator upstairs. Now one's rotating again So that's 2 bodies and a drop into sight. Marks are going down, so they at least have an idea as to what is going on with the plant, as Thermite is going to be trying to put it down again. But King will secure, I believe, his second elimination. The diffuser is spotted, still a 1v2. He will eliminate the Thermite, and unfortunately, from up above, Geo will be saving the round for the attacking team.
I think that was a potential 4K, maybe 3K, not too sure for Geo, but great play by him to deny that Valkyrie the opportunity to clutch out that round. I believe that was a 4K on his behalf, and we'll see LetsFetz equalise 1-1 as we go down to the lockers CCTV room, and you have to give it to HolyRayn there. That was a great attempt at a retake. The Valkyrie put in immense amount of work to try and get the site back, just couldn't clear the guy off the hatch.
Absolutely, I could not agree more there. I'm going to guess this player's name, Supikora, really did his best with the push there. I mean, that was 2 eliminations totally on the opposite side of the room of each other, and the one all the way in archives. It made the recovery possible, but without the information to kind of lead to the fact that there is still another operator upstairs, that's what led to Geo, ultimately taking the round for LetsFetz there. But I think all in all, the take was absolutely plausible, and with how, I mean, it seemed like just smart aggression. The pings were going down, the marks were suggesting as to that they're not moving. The attacking team, when they dropped hatch, they really were not that mobile, but it made it possible. Ultimately ended with the fact that the information, the vertical play, really does demonstrate how Bank kind of plays out.
Now, I've just thought of this, but Valkyrie used her C4 on the Maverick earlier in the round. Now, if she had saved that C4, waited till about 5 seconds when that plant was going down, that would have been her round to lose, because she would be able to toss that C4, deny the plant, and then they would have to run for the diffuser where she has line of sight. So,
absolutely, and with Maestro being taken off the board so early on, that was just about the only plant defusal they had besides goo mines. So without the C4, without the Evil Eyes, besides Evil Eyes giving off information, the C4s are ultimately plan B, and without those throwables, it's not doing much. But here we see a very heavy-bodied into main lobby push here. It's kind of the same operator lineup that we're already sustained to seeing, but that's 3 or 4 bodies already pushing into tellers here. But it seems to be King Ventix will be the first to kind of push on in. He's scanning some information, hopefully relaying to the teams. We're seeing the more angle play from main stairs that we had before. And 2 eliminations for HolyRayn. That is IQ and Jackal off the board. Huge amount of work from the roamers here.
I will see Valkyrie pick up the 3rd, and that'll be on to the Maverick, I believe. And he's looking for a 4th now, as I believe that's the sledge peeking that. As he'll get it, and Castle will get the kill onto the Thermite, and HolyRayn just didn't even let them out of the lobby. And that was a great hold by HolyRayn. There's nothing you could fault with that hold.
I think that was the definition of a punishment right there. You're punishing the fact that, they put so many bodies in one area, that they're not trying to vertical play, that they're just stacking one another. And I think it was an excellent support of their roamers. I mean, the angle play was phenomenal there. Not only do you have someone on main stairs, someone in open area, and then someone in Teller's archives, all with holes in the wall, all with their own angles to play, and they can just kind of back up one another with these very unique crossfires. I mean, it was something that's not very standard in the fact that, you're comfortable with the teammate shooting over your shoulder when someone's trying to peek you, and it really did pay off in the fact that round was just about a clean sweep.
I mean, that was one of the closest rounds we've had to a complete flawless round in EU so far, because we have the 2 maps before with Silex and I believe it was Nessus. Because update on that, Silex did win 2-0 in the end. Very close game, but they take, I believe, first spot in Group A, because this is Group B, and NA is structured differently to EU as EU, so this is Group B we're currently looking at. Of course, our last game of the day will be a Group A game again. So, but we'll focus on this game for now, and this, to me, is an archive hold once again. Is that what I'm saying? It is indeed. So, the reason I won this last time was because of an excellent retake from the Maestro Valkyrie and the Legion, and all you see is the IQ actually go down or take a lot of HP loss.
So they're probably going to be looking at a reset there, but Legion will be trying to run out. Does not successful, gets punished. The Thermite will be there to recover the fallen teammate. Now with the reset being back to 20, it's still not a monumentous amount of HP being sustained from that move. However, it's still someone else on the board. That's still IQ's utility to spot out the goo mines, you know, for the Thermite that's been continually planting throughout these rounds for LetsFetz. But that was just, I feel like, a little bit too aggressive. You at least injured someone. You know that in the current status of Siege and the fact that it drops him down to 20 HP, someone's going to be trying to save that teammate, especially early on into the round. It was a huge time waster, however, for the defending team, but it was still ultimately, now we are seeing a 5v4 in the way of the attacking team. It's a heavy drone game we are seeing, and it will be a sledge instead of a buck, really wreaking havoc on the ceiling above. And you can kind of see the Maestro, you know, holding an angle, watching as to not to be overzealous with peeking. And we again see Jackal going upstairs as well, with a couple bodies hitting main lobby. But they have a lot of information being relayed from these drones. Now, with a minute 20 though, it's going to fall to their executive action as to how they push, how they really try to take sight and try to ultimately get that diffuser down. They're very diffuser heavy, with the fact that these roamers are so scattered. It'd be hard to go just for sheer eliminations. But
and now the push they're going for, I can already, well, actually, well, they just can't plant that right side door of the front desk. So they're gonna have to go for this left side door if they want to go for the plant. There's no goo mines about because that Legion did die so early on, and there isn't anyone on site, to my knowledge. They could just plant desk and no one would know. That Valkyrie might see the feet and it pinged away on the Valkyrie, I believe, as someone is tagged up to the desk but won't go down. And Casper K goes down to the hands of the C4 from Valkyrie. With 24 seconds left, LetsFetz have to go for this push. Valkyrie gets a kill. 2, 1, and he'll get a second as well. For Jaeger gets a third, and this attack falling apart now for the attackers. As Shackle will get taken down by the Valkyrie. That's Valkyrie on a 3k. As they look to the sledge in a 1v4, and Jaeger pick up the second. And great closeout from the defenders, just not letting them have that chance to plant, and just covering their angles really well.
I think that was a great example of excellent coordination from one team, and then unfortunately not the best coordination from another. You very much so saw Rain take advantage of the fact that their push was, it felt very scattered. It felt like they didn't know where to put bodies, and you were absolutely right when you call out the fact that the bomb site, you'd have to plant by desk because of the fact that there are so many angles being watched, main stairs, open area, you name it, from default. So they're going to have to push on in, and Evil Eye is going to be just constantly scanning them and spamming them with its turret. So they kind of took advantage of
Evil Eye, because they took out the Evil Eye on the door. I think it was a Valkyrie cam in lobby, and they had planted in view of that Valkyrie cam. I think that's what it was, because I saw the sledge win and take down the Maestro, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, say I know I saw it there. I didn't know if it was eventually eliminated after that, but the fact that that castle was there on Elevator Hall, it seemed to really kind of throw things off with the fact that they can't push into there and try to rotate the defenders out of main stairs or out of open area. That castle seemed to be substantial in the hold and with the angle play that we're seeing here from Rain. And eventually Valkyrie was able to take advantage of it and nitroed it open, thus leaving the whole entire attacking team's execution exposed from from the south side.
For sure, I'm going to see that open area hold once again. So now opting to go to the CEO, which is interesting. To me, I think CEO is the third best site, pushing for second at this point with archives. But it's interesting they haven't gone to the top floor. And it also strikes me that they haven't even put bodies on the top floor, which indicates they don't feel comfortable playing around that top floor. And I don't know why that is. But I mean, it's working for them. Well, that's just the illusion upstairs. So ignore my past 30 seconds of comments. But you can see the illusion upstairs. And he'll be getting joined out.
I actually do agree with you. The fact that they're a little uncomfortable playing upstairs. They haven't been gesturing towards the site. They haven't been putting bodies up there. They've been putting bodies on the bottom floor instead of putting them in the mid region of things.
I mean, the Legion's just rotated within 40 seconds. So that says a lot.
They don't want to lose the body early on. If they're not comfortable, they're going to make the rotate out. At least have someone. They have Vigil covering him over main stairs. But here we already see 3 bodies from LetsFetz upstairs already establishing map dominance early on into the round as some of the roamers retreat to site. But it seems to be as Tellers and Archives is going to continue to be the name of the game for Rayn here because of the fact that they have such strong angle play and reinforcements going down to kind of succumb to the hold. But IQ spotting the Vigil rotating out and shots are going to be exchanged. However, a final elimination is not going to land. But the information is being relayed. I think we see a rotate going upstairs, and that is King Ventix getting the first elimination, and that is Castle off the board. And with thermite charges going down.
That thermite charge has just gone off on the front desk wall. That's going to Archive. They still have a minute 10 to push, and they still have a lot of headway to make if they want to get to the open area. They still have to clear out the Archives. I think that Vigil has just rotated out. So that might make it a bit easier for them now. But with a minute left and the Legion pick up the kill onto the IQ to equal it out, it's going to make it a lot harder now for the attackers to get the plant down.
Absolutely, we're looking even in the way of bodies. 45 seconds still left on this round. And here we see Maverick just now getting to the hatch. I think they're trying to play where the defense is a little weaker, but 2 eliminations will go down. It's now a 2v4, a 1v4, and a very low HP Vigil. He is back down on the bottom of Skylight. He will get 1 elimination as King Ventix, the Jackal, off the board for LetsFetz. They have the rotates for him to get back into the site, but that's not going to be where they're planting. So the mark is going down. The hatch was dropped. The marks will be put down, but they're sandwiching him in terms of angle play, so he has the opportunity for the diffuser to be down, but will be shut down.
And I think that was a great round by LetsFetz on the second to last attack they have. I think the open area hasn't really worked for Rayn. As much as it nearly worked the first time, it thanks to an excellent attempt at a retake from the Valkyrie. That time there was no chance for a retake. LetsFetz shut down the rotations a lot quicker. They were a bit more careful with which fights they were picking. There was a lot more organised of where they were pushing. Even though it did take them about 2 minutes to get Archives control, they still pushed on and cleared everything effectively and stopped the rotates.
Absolutely. I think with the uncomfortability on top floor, open area is going to be harder and harder each round you go there to defend because of the fact that you don't have anyone stopping from 3 hatches. I mean, that's 3 hatches, that leads to site. At least dropping wise, angle wise, rotate covering, those are substantial. So the fact that you have no one there kind of trying to repel that, and the fact that Legion rotated out within the first 40 seconds, it's still, a common theme for them to get everything up there uncontested. And the fact that the roamers are depending so heavily on Archives, and you have the Jackal pushing from Skylight stairs, it's playing a little bit with the fact that they're not holding upstairs, which means they have a third map dominance within the first 30 seconds of the round, and they have full rotation coverage for the attacking team. As we saw in the previous attack round for that site, they were able to go back up the hatch and have another body drop to put down that diffuser.
For sure. And now we're going to see the Lockers defense, which was so successful, was that near flawless round. And it's going to be the same hole by the looks of it. I wonder how the attackers are going to take this. As last time we saw them all push themselves through lobby, and they didn't really take any map control, and that's what lost them round. And touching on that upstairs presence from the defenders, this hole would be so much easier to get rid of if they had taken that top floor in that first attack of the site. But for some reason that was the one round they didn't. And it looks like they're already making this correction. They're going for the top floor. We see the Sledge and the Jackal already up there. And this should clear out the Romans a lot easier now.
They're doing a good job at droning in their entries here, at the fact that King Ventic's, a common spot for him to be is at the top of this stairwell, and he's already rotating on in. The issue I want to see here is, or the interaction, is the main stairs. Main stairs seems to be Rayn's kind of bread and butter here with holding, especially with Valkyrie holding the angles through archives and through tellers. So I want to see as to if they're going to rotate and try to take over servers and CC, or if that's just not in the cards for LetsFetz here.
Sure. And we actually see the defenders who've rotated off archives. They're holding the open area exclusively now. And kind of have that linchpin of the main stairs to fall back on. And I said, it's their bread and butter. They seem to know how to hold it really effectively. And I think we'll see the castle and the vigil upstairs still. I'll say that. So Phil get the kill onto the vigil, and it's now all up to the castle. He comes out and Jackal gets that kill before Valkyrie refrags the thermite. I bet that's main stairs. Yeah, Valkyrie came up from main stairs, so Phil will refrag. And now, with 45 seconds left, we will see LetsFetz in a minus advantage on an upstairs, downstairs attack, should I say. And this is a lot better than the first time they attacked the site.
Oh no, absolutely. So now we're in the way of a 4v2 for LetsFetz, and still a lot of utility on the board. The only thing they've really lost is hard breaching capabilities, but the fact that there are already some hatches dropped means that that's not the most substantial part of the push here. But we do see Legion and Maestro kind of holding each other's sights because of the fact that Maestro is trying to lock down CC. But Legion, it looks to be rotating up main stairs. It sounds like it seems as if he's going to go for the flank. The smokes are going down, the diffuser's going down, and they will be finished off in quick succession there.
And I think that was a good round again from LetsFetz, and they started to warm up as they finished their attacking rounds. And I'm hoping that momentum carries through to their defenses, because I would say coming out with a 3-3 tie on bank on your attacks I would say it's a good result in my opinion. It's not the most defender favoured map, but it's not like it's a heavily attacker favoured map. I would say a 4-2 to defenders is normally where teams come out of. So coming 3-3, I think is really good.
It gives you a base to kind of build off of, and I 100% agree with you. The fact that it looked as if, I don't know if it was some rust that needed to be shook off, I don't know if it was some momentum that needed to be built, but they really did carry it through, because I thought we were going to see way more points on the board for Rayn. But it seemed as if the rotation coverage, the pushes, and the droning ultimately were all cleaned up for LetsFetz. So they really kind of analyzed what was wrong, what was falling apart, and they cleaned it up, and ultimately led to better pushes and more rounds on the board.
Now we'll see LetsFetz on their first defense of the series and this league, as this is of course the first play day, and we'll see how they hold it. And this does look a bit more standard from the defenders, which I mean sometimes more standard is better.
Absolutely. When you get into strats, I mean the question is the team comfortable? Is the team able to actually play the strat? Because anyone can take a piece of notebook paper, draw up a strat. I mean, and it would be a deadly strat on paper, but ultimately if the team is not comfortable with it, if it doesn't play to the style, whether it be aggressive or passive, it ultimately falls down to how the players are just executing and going about doing so. So if the standard hold is the way they want to go, I mean, we've seen it in many rounds that it's possible to do it. It's not as if you need a strat for, or a new strat for every round. As I say that, Pulse will get the first elimination. That is Maverick off the board. What an excellent shot. That was a solo push into lobby and a solo punish from Skipper there. That is a lot of utility off the board, because now if anything were to happen to the exothermic charges or the thermite, they just lost all hard breach capabilities.
I mean, Habana being banned means there's no Habana to bring them X-Kyvos, so of course thermite is their only option to bring. So they might have brought a double high destruction, but if they both die early on, there's no point in having them, of course. So
Absolutely.
we're actually our first stature of the game. I've just realised that. Our very first stature of the game. That intrigues me, especially on a bank.
Absolutely. Now that you say that, I'm thinking about it too, and it's such a strange thing to see. When the teams have switched to the operator get utilized. But I mean, for the amount of utility in this site specifically, trap-wise, ADS, cam-wise, and a second elimination will go down for LetsFetz. So now that is, speaking of Thatcher, he's off the board. They'll be sustaining some shots down to what looks to be 10 HP. Maestro does as well, has a little bit more, but Servers is going to be strongly held. Valkyrie's peeking onto the bottom of blue stairs, not going to be overzealous with it, is rotating back into looks to be Vault, but he's we have Sledge here kind of head checking. He doesn't seem to have a drone, so that's going to be second nade tossed out, and it looks to be, I believe that's Jaeger holding desk there. Skipper securing his second kill for the round. That is Thermite. Now it's a 5v1 in the way for LetsFetz. Diffuser's down in server, and all Monkey Day's doing here is just applying pressure. It's a 1v4. He was able to eliminate Skipper. The Pulse finally off the board. It's 30 seconds. Diffuser is not in possession of the attacking team. However, they do know where the final operator is. Shots will be exchanged. However, he will finish off a kill, but will be refragged immediately by King Betex, the Valkyrie.
And that was an extremely good server hold from the defenders. That Jaeger came off the server stack as soon as he saw the first nade come out, and because the Sledge had no more drones, when he chucked that second nade, he put it again behind that server stack, thinking the Jaeger was still there, but no, Jaeger had rotated to the desk, because no drones there. Mute was in play, I believe, so the Mute denied any drones they still had potentially, and he was able to play there very safely, and someone just ran in, thinking he was behind the server stack, and he wasn't. He was behind the desk, and he just peeked up, got the kill.
Absolutely. It seems as if not a lot of utility was actually utilized by Rain there. I mean, there was a Thatcher on the board, but there were still Mute Jammers and cams going off just about constantly for their pushes. So they couldn't drone out. They were the attacking or the defending team. LetsFetz was having information relayed to them, and without having exothermic charge take away the hatch that's watching above server there, and no Maverick to kind of put at least, you know, some peek holes in there, Jaeger, I'll say Dace, was able to have just utmost control of that room angle play, because you're absolutely right. The Sledge spent 2 nades on a single operator, neither of which were successful, and the second one went to the complete opposite side of the room from where the operator was actually residing. So without having all this information relayed, it's just free game really for the defending team here.
For sure, and we'll see, I believe it's an Archives hold, I want to say. Didn't quite catch it, but yeah, it looks like an Archives hold to me. And again, a pretty standard hold, see the castle come out. So I imagine we'll... Actually, no, a top floor hold. Now, this is the polar opposite to Rain, as Rain didn't touch that top floor one bit.
Rain really liked it seemed to be the ground level, the main floor. Here we see from LetsFetz the top and the bottom in the first 2 rounds of the defending phase. But Doc seems to sustain some shots here. The first elimination will go onto Mute, and that's I don't know if that was from all the way from parking, but that is a huge elimination, as that is a C4 off the board. So now the only plant defusals they have is an Evil Eye and another Nitro Cell, but Maestro seems to have a shot land on him. We see 2 bodies from the attacking team pushing the main lobby, while Zofia is repelled on the main wall here, kind of watching Curve. King Bentex will spot them out and at least try to hold an angle for their initial push into the building.
My bad earlier on in the Valley said it was an Archives hold, it's actually a top floor hold. So even more locked it as they didn't go top floor at all. Rain. I see 2 kills there, one for the Valkyrie, one for the Claymore. I believe that was a Sophia.
What a huge play there. Castle hopped out, and a Claymore was ultimately his demise. That was initially, in my thought, a free kill onto Sophia. Repelling. This Sophia is kind of wrecking havoc. I mean, that is angle. The diffuser was in his possession, knew that the Sophia had a push, and it seemed as if there was an absence of drone communication going on from Rain there. So it was initially, it ultimately came down to a free frag and a round on the board. So now we're almost into match point. We have a 5-3 score right now. We're not going to cut anyone out of the race here because of the fact that
enemy spot.
So them being 5-3 down isn't the best.
Absolutely. I mean, you said LetsFetz really gained their momentum and cleaned up where it was wrong. Now we're just seeing this team at... I think they're hyped. I think they're happy with how they're performing. I think they're confident now. And they've really fully done a 180 in terms as to how we saw the previous phase go when the teams were switched.
No, for sure. And I think now we're going to an Archives hold here. And
if you note that they have a whole lot of top floor utility going down, reinforcements, black eye cams, ADSs, castles. It's a polar opposite of what we saw from Rain, who more favored the main stairs open area holds through angles.
Sure, and we'll see the Legion actually playing that shield by elevator. And normally you play that with an ACOG, like Echo or Doc, or a Rook plays that. And for a Legion to be playing it, it's very interesting. I understand why. I think in practice it's good, it's just not normal to see. So...
Oh, no, absolutely, and when you... The word interesting is exactly the word I would use for this hold right now. I don't think anyone else is on site besides Valkyrie and I possibly Mute. I'm trying to spot, or Mute's playing on the other site, but they have Elevator Hall reinforced off, and the first elimination will be Buck. That is all the vertical play, or at least all the easy vertical play, but a refrag will immediately go down from Zofia, and as now Jaeger and Buck off the board. It's even in terms of bodies for the two teams.
That's a big pick. That is your nades down. That's potentially all of your soft destruction down by the two Sophias. Because she might have used them. She hasn't, and she'll pick up the kill onto the castle upstairs. So HolyRayn, looking like they want to swing this one back in their favour as they look to pick up their first round on their attacks here. And this heavy upstairs hold here hasn't really worked for the defenders. It has waited a minute and 50, we'll say. So I still have a lot to work with, especially with the two C4s on the board and them goo mines still about.
Absolutely, and I feel as if the top portion could have been played a little bit smarter because of the fact that it just seems as if they threw bodies towards Sophia, who was just kind of on the same window, watching the same angles. But here we see a rotate. Valkyrie's going to be trying to take or reestablish top control. We'll have some shots taken down now to 50 HP, but King Ventix is going to be rotating upstairs, and that's the Dokkaebi off the board. It's still even in terms of body. 30 seconds left, a 2v2. We might see an interaction here as Zofia spotted. Legion smartly not taking that chance there. That is a kill from the Valkyrie. So now it's a 2v1. in way of LetsFetz. The Zofia is sitting at, I'm going to say, you know, roughly 10 HP here, rotating down curve. Diffuser is not in possession.
Valkyrie attack kill. LetsFetz, they're running away with this on Rayn's map, and I didn't see us coming. As I said at the start of the broadcast, I have Rayn down for the favourites next to Silex Alpha. But neither team at the moment, Silex in the last game or Rayn in this team, really showing up to their full capability, I think.
Absolutely. We're seeing mistakes from both teams. We're seeing a little bit of uncoordination. And I don't know if that's from overconfidence, you know, not having enough, or if that's from just a lack of intel going down.
I mean, we've seen a lot more rigid attacking lineup here. There's a lot more NA style, this attacking lineup. You'll see the same operators over and over. As LetsFetz, they changed it up every round. If they didn't like something, they'll change it. If they thought this would catch them off guard, they changed it. I don't think there was one round where they had the exact same the exact composition as the last round. So
no.
It might be a case of LetsFetz have figured out the HolyRayn composition. They know what angles which operator's going to take, and they're deciding if they're going to challenge it or not.
Absolutely, and really what makes or breaks a team, in my opinion, is adaptability. You know, knowing your shortcomings, knowing where your strong suits are, and overall working with those, whether or not to improve it, take advantage of it, or to just simply change it. And from LetsFetz, I think we're seeing nothing but overall calculated approaches, you know, to their shortcomings here. They've done nothing but kind of clean up. I mean, with that last round, including Zofia getting 2 picks from the same window, they're still kind of playing to where they know the shortcomings are of Rayn. I mean, there was no top game for the defenders, and that showed to be monumentous for the holds going down on not only the middle or ground level, but basement as well. So they're taking advantage of where they know their opponent's shortcomings are.
For sure. And it's not like any strats we're seeing are crazy out of the ordinary, or they're really well put together. They seem to be very, don't want to say basic, but very simple strats. There's not too much outlandish things going on. Maybe that Archives hold is a bit up there, but it's nothing like we saw from HolyRayn, where they were extending themselves vastly on all sides and revolving themselves around these main stairs.
No, absolutely, and I'm happy you pointed it out, because yeah, no, their holds are, I'm gonna say, more straight to the point, not to be insulting. And well, the Pulse is gonna be spotting out the fact that a Maverick is taking out, or at least putting holes into the hatches, but not really peeking it. It seems as if he's just going back and forth to kind of lay havoc. But the first Logic Bomb will go down. Mute will be suffering 3/4 of his health. But we're still even in terms of bodies. A minute 30 still left on the clock here, and it just looks to be as a battle of who's going to peak first. It is match point in the way of LetsFetz. Speaking of which, they get the first kill, and that's a Maverick off the board. It is a singular hatch down, but the other 2 in open area are still up with a couple holes in them. That's huge for the defending team. Now a minute left. They still have Thermite to kind of put down the hard breaching capabilities, but these Mute jammers are just laying waste. Now Mute, speaking of which, will be spotted on main stairs. Dokabee's been trying to peek that for a minute now. He looks to be as if he has a shotty in hand, so that's going to be a very tough one-on-one scenario to kind of pick, especially without any flashbangs. But we see a Jaeger behind server peeking down bottom of blue. Shots will not connect, but it will suppress them, as we do have 2 defenders or 2 attackers running away from a Nitro cell that gets tossed from CC. Now ultimately that server opponent will be taken out. A refrag will happen onto I believe that's Dokabee now off the board. It's a 3v4. They are in sight. The exothermic charge will go down. They're over A. They're going to be trying to get this diffuser down with 19 seconds left. Here we have Thatcher very smartly watching over the rotate hole. He's pre-firing. Nothing's going to land though. with a huge
Double
C4.
and that's gonna win the game for him.
6 seconds left. A recovery is not possible. He spots it, and Maestro will ultimately get that last kill.
That C4 won them that round. That was so well placed and so well timed that the attackers thought that the defenders didn't know the plant was going down, or the pulse wasn't in a state to deny the plant. And that C4 came out just at the right time, and that was a great use of utility there. And we'll see LetsFetz Gaming take HolyRayn's map, the map 1, as we move to map 2 in about 2 or 3 minutes time of Consulate, and we'll see you there.